What's up everyone, and welcome back as we make a long-awaited return to our retrospective review of She-Hulk. We continue on with episode 4 entitled, Is This Not Real Magic? Let's get right into it. Spoilers ahead. We open up at some magic show where this magician is bombing on stage. The magician cuts to the chase and asks, who's the sluttiest person in the audience? This skank comes up and helps with some lame trick, and Morgan Freeman in whiteface is excited. The magician opens up a portal to send her back to Whore Island. We jump to Nepal, where Wong is watching The Sopranos, but he gets interrupted when Skankola pops into his living room. She's trying this new thing called Tinder, but IRL.
I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, but now my dad lives in Phoenix with his new family, so I go there sometimes.
And she immediately follows this up with some drug-fueled rambling.
And a talking goat helped me escape a lava pit in exchange for 6 drops of my blood. Then I kind of browned out, and now I'm here.
Wong wants her to leave so he doesn't get crabs, but she thinks this is a Netflix and chill situation and makes herself at home. We catch up with Jen, aka She-Hulk, whose dad is here to kill and bury her. It's a tough decision, but he's decided it's for the best.
Sometimes dad is better.
Jen goes to work where she's doing online dating at her job. Well, I think that explains about 20 cents of the pay gap right there. Wong interrupts her important work, complaining about the magician from earlier, and Wong wants to sue him. Jen and her friend, who's also single and miserable, get hit on by someone who was a Chad 50 years ago. The friend starts swiping on her Tinder account for her. Jen and Wong deliver the cease and desist to the shitty magician and whiteface Morgan Freeman. Jen asks Morgan if her doing greenface is worse than him doing whiteface.
Maybe.
We find out why Wong was suspiciously silent during the meeting when he spits out his ball gag. Jen is on a date with this serial killer, and even he thinks Jen's beneath him as he checks out other women and makes her pay the bill. Hot off the dating scene, Jen is back in court as She-Hulk, and Wong summons in Skankola. Skankola testifies against the magician, but she's not very believable. Jen says that we should believe all women and you can't trust men.
Oh, how dare you!
Now that the case is well in hand, the men begin celebrating in the courtroom. Wong, the man, has to stand up and win his own case because Jen is such a good lawyer that she empowers her clients to do the work themselves. Things are going well when Skankola opens her mouth and blows the case, and not in the way she usually blows things.
This case is far from closed. I have to agree with Mr. Blaze.
Men win again, and the patriarchy lives to fight another day. Later, Jen is getting a good indication of her actual worth. So she makes an account as She-Hulk because getting a few matches for being a freak whose sole purpose is to fulfill men's weird sexual fetishes is better than no matches at all, apparently. Of course, she's in LA, so there's a ton of fetish freaks jumping at the chance. She goes on a bunch of dates, but wrongly assumes she deserves better than these men. Moving back to the magician, this new skank is making him look like a fool, so he tries a new trick. This magic pigeon lays an egg that hatches into the recently vindicated bat from Wuhan, and he brings a bunch more bats from Wuhan to celebrate their innocence. The magician racistly thinks, maybe that Asian guy I know will eat these bats for me, so he begs for Wong's help. Jen drags one of the men back to her cave and is about to do some She-Hulk smashing when Wong pops in to ask if they need a third. She then joins the effort to send the bats back to China. Rather than focusing on the task at hand, she objectifies her date's physical appearance, because that's okay to do as long as you're the right gender. It's called modern equality. She jumps back on top of her date and carries him off to her bedroom without asking for consent. The next morning, Jen is annoyed to see another woman getting attention on the news. Her new love interest leaves once she's not fulfilling his weird sexual fetish anymore, and then she gets served notice that Titania is suing her for stealing the name She-Hulk, and the episode comes to an end. But not really, because of course there's another post-credit scene. This one shows us Skankola and Wong talking about her favorite pastime, booze. And now the episode is over. Well, another shitty episode that seemed to hit all the major reasons no one takes people like Jen seriously in real life. For example, at work she's spending her time on dating sites, then trying to play catch up on actual work later at a bar where she lets her friend distract her with the Tinder app. And what happens in court? She's totally unprepared and has to pull a witness out of her ass, or in this case through space and time, and it all gets blown up and her client gets screwed. Then in her dating life, she claims to want companionship, but then ends up using a false veneer to get dates, ends up objectifying her love interest, and then carries him to her bedroom without any kind of consent. It just goes to show you that the people like those great minds that dreamt up this crap don't actually believe in the things they bitch about in real life. They just use it as an avenue to attack people they don't like. On the lighter side, it's funny how Wong, of all the MCU characters, is leaps and bounds a better character than She-Hulk, and the creators know they have to include him so we don't focus so much on She-Hulk. the person whose show this is. And the show pretty much admits this at the beginning of the episode. Anyway, crappy show continues to be crappy, but it's a fun hate watch. The cowards at Disney Marvel have refused to commit to a season 2 at this point, but we'll be continuing on with these season 1 reviews. Is it cool to carry someone you're much stronger than to your bedroom without consent when you're on a date? Do you think Jen Walters would represent herself in court if she was rightfully charged with sexual assault? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to like the video if you liked it, and click the subscribe button for more shitting on shitty shows. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one.